Josh and Alex bring the fire, no doubt. Fun facts roaring, making headlines shout. Sports pro wrestling with a punch and a spin. Warrior fuel coursing through their skin. Headlines screaming hot off the press. Facts and figures they never second guess. Cutting through the noise, sharp as a knife. Slash Trax news, it's more than just life. Slash Trax coming at you full speed, no brakes. Horror and action, they're raising the stakes. Jumping just as yup, you don't wanna miss. Tony laughs hard, this is pure bliss. Slash Trax ready, set, let's go.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode number 20 of Slash Trax Action News. I'm Alex Vanover.
And I'm Josh LaRue.
Josh, it's good to be back in the studios, and it's even better to be back on this monumental 20th episode anniversary of the show, Josh. Take a
20
bow, bud.
20 episodes. When did we start? It was this year. What month was it?
Yeah, it was about, I want to say like 8 or 9 months ago is when the podcast started.
This came a long way.
Episode number 1 got about 2.6, I don't know, 2,600 views, I think. Now we're up. We have an episode that had 110,000 views a couple episodes back. Episode number 19 is over 48,000 in like 2 weeks. And Slash Trax, the Halloween special, our movie riff show, Season of the Witch actually just exploded on Saturday. It went from like 13,000 views to over 50,000 views within like 2 hours.
Yeah.
So that was something I've never seen before on our channel. So that was just insane. When you text me that and showed me the photos, it just blew my mind.
Yeah, it was just going up like before I could like I'd refresh and it'd be up like hundreds. So that was crazy.
Yeah, I had never seen any. It's almost like, is YouTube auditing us in a different manner? Because back in the day when we get audited, they would just hold the views. You wouldn't get any views.
Yeah.
And then you'd slowly, incrementally get them after they like verified that they weren't bots or fake. But for whatever reason on Saturday, Season of the Witch just, boom, you had 13,000. Okay, now you have 54,000. There you go. All within like 9 minutes. It was the closest we've ever came to going viral, I think.
Yeah, that was great. Great.
Yeah.
Especially after going a few days at 13,000 and thinking something was wrong.
Well, you know what I thought? I thought it was like, okay, well, this movie's, just not a big draw. And I also kind of thought, since we didn't do wraparounds for the episode like we normally do with the whole cast, I thought it was a number of things, but it wasn't. It was just as popular as ever, so it was unbelievable. But I want to get back to what we said. Last episode, I drank a flaming hot Mountain Dew because we broke 50,000 on episode number 18 of the podcast. And I said I would finally drink the Crystal Pepsi you sent me for my birthday. When we got to episode number 20. So here we go.
Ice cold, ready to go.
There we go. So cheers, buddy.
20
there you
episodes.
go. Clink it. Clink it to the side there, you puke.
Oh.
There you go.
Clink! Clink, clink.
All right. To 20 episodes.
20 episodes. Oh, I love it.
That tastes like 1992 to me.
Right? Exactly.
But it's the French-Canadian version of 1992. Because it's Cristal.
It's Cristal, bitch.
Yeah. Josh paid like $33 a bottle to have that shipped over American borders. So we know he's wild about Crystal Clear Pepsi. Josh is just wild about Crystal Clear Pepsi. Josh is just wild about 20 episodes.
Right now.
There's no tomorrow.
Like every time you open the cap, the song starts playing. So.
Oh man, really? That's why it costs $33. I guess mine, when you shipped it to me, the sound box must have been taken out or something in transit. So let's get into a little bit of the channel business.
Okay.
All right. So got a little bit of a sponsor tease here. So episode number 21 of the podcast, Josh and I created the business email, slashtrax2020@gmail.com. So if you want to partner with us, if you're a company, if you watch the show, you're a fan of the show, you want to leave a comment, you have an idea for an episode, have an idea for a story, tell us something that you like that we did in a previous episode, tell us something you didn't like. Anyway, we kind of pushed that really hard. So we pushed the email, and we actually got correspondence from a company. And we are going to be sponsored on episode number 21 by Hunt a Killer. And they are creating murder mystery board games. So Josh and I are going to get into that and showcase them in episode number 21. So thanks to Hunt a Killer for hitting us up on the email, and we look forward to working with you in episode 21.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
We got our box in, and we wanted to play it, but Beth is dyslexic, and because of that, we're on the run from the police right now. We did it backwards. Instead of hunt a killer, we killed a hunter.
Oh, man.
So, yeah,
I
it's
hope
a whole mess over here.
So you killed a hunter. That's good. I hope it's the girl who killed the dog, the husky, when she thought it was a wolf. Did you see that story on social media?
Oh, yeah. That's...
She's Dumb of the Month for Slash Trax Network. She's the Idiot of the Century Award winner. Yeah, I saw that photo. It made my stomach turn. I love animals.
Yes.
That really pissed me off. Josh, we were gonna talk about reading some emails that we got, but let's not do the whole email. Just the one email that I kind of wanted to get into was the one that was written specifically to you, about the person who was thanking you for putting out the audiobooks. Can you tell us just a little bit about that email?
Yeah, it was a deaf subscriber to the channel, and they talked about how much they appreciate the audiobooks because without me narrating them, or somebody narrating them, they would never have access to it, because these aren't the kind of books that Audible is going to be jumping on these old out-of-print books to do audiobooks of them. So they were real thankful for that, and that touched me. It makes it all worthwhile, all the work that goes into the narrations. I'm so glad you're able to enjoy that. Thank you.
Yeah,
that was
a really cool email. I was a little jealous that it was addressed just to Josh. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like the third wheel, but I was very proud of Josh and all the great things he does on this channel. And before we jump into, we're gonna finish the business out real quick. But before we jump into nice comment, mean comment segment of the show, I want to talk really quick about another email. Johnny Utah. Josh and I have been corresponding with him, and he's been sending us some really great questions. Just a whole variety of questions, and he's a really interesting guy. I mean, he asked me questions about my mom shoplifting at the store. He asked me questions about if there's any folklore or any murder mysteries in our hometowns and stuff. And I wanted to answer a question right now. So I'm originally from Coos Bay, Oregon, which is on the coast. And I'm going to answer the question right now. Yes, there is some folklore. There was a kid named Jeremy Bright from a town called Myrtle Point or Coquille back in the early 80s, and he was actually featured on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Stack. He went to the fair and never came home, and they never found him. They don't know what happened to him. There's tons of urban legends around the town about what could have possibly happened, but he's still missing, and it's been over 30 years. So that's one of the kind of folklore stories, true life crime that happened down there. And there's another gal that was killed, and she was also from Coquille, and it was a Dateline episode. Her boyfriend, I think his name was Nick McGuffin, was originally tried, arrested, and convicted of her, Leah Freeman, of her murder, and he has been released. They overturned the conviction. So yeah, there's two big time crime stories from my area, but I just wanted to touch on that real quick.
I gotta read this real quick because this is like the epitome of the awesomeness that has been hitting the emails. This was Buchanan Baxter.
That's
It
our
says,
boy. That's him.
Yeah, he says, I really enjoy your channel. I subscribed a couple years ago. I initially thought you were some guy uploading audiobooks. I had no idea you did the narrations yourself. I've watched every Slash Trax with you and Alex throughout the day. I'll randomly think about something you talked about. I think Nuclear Grizzly would be a good name for an energy drink or a cologne marketed to douchebags. I really like when you guys discuss horror movies you enjoy. It seems like the standard on YouTube is for current creators to pick a movie they didn't like and hash it, or bash it, I mean, or pick a movie they enjoyed but nitpick what they didn't like about it or what they would have done differently. What are some of your favorite horror movies, and what horror YouTube channels do you guys watch? Thanks, Johnny Utah. First off, favorite YouTube channel, that's a big honor right there. Thank you. I mean,
Yeah,
wow.
there's a lot of choices out there, and to be the favorite is incredible. There's a lot of options.
Thank you so much for that. Let's see. My favorite horror movie of all time, I answered this for somebody in the comments, was Night of the Living Dead. Just because, it changed the whole zombie thing from like voodoo to ghoulish things. And it's just so well made, and it's got such a, it's so metaphorical for the times.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
And it's crazy because you picked Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
The creators of Night of the Living Dead, the two guys, split off and took the rights from the first movie in two different directions.
Mm-hmm.
The Return of the Living Dead is one creator from Night of the Living Dead, and George Romero was the other one.
Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, he did the Deads, and then the other guy got the Living Dead for the Return of the Living Dead movies. I can't think of his name right now.
Return of the Living Dead is just a masterpiece. From the soundtrack to the acting, I'm involved in all the characters. I don't want them to die. They take time to develop the story and the characters, which always pays off in a horror movie. One of the biggest issues I have with any horror movie, if you start a movie and you just go for body count, I don't care. I mean, it's at that point I'm just rooting for the killer at that point to just rack up the numbers, because I have no reason to be invested. I don't care if they die or they live, to be honest with you. If you pull my emotional heartstrings for about 15 to 20 minutes and you actually invest in your product, then I'm going to care about what happens to the stars of the films. So it doesn't take like a Einstein to figure this formula out. So yeah, just maybe work on that, build the story, build the characters, and horror will become king at the box office once again.
As far as favorite YouTube channels, I would say Dead Meat is fun sometimes. The Kill Counts, Honest Trailers. I can't think of the name of that channel, but I watch those a lot. And The Pitch Meeting Guy. The Pitch Meeting Guy is hilarious. Horror movies, a few I can name off that are my favorites that most people wouldn't talk about are Stir of Echoes, Demon Knight, Event Horizon, and of course, my favorite two Jason flicks are usually the least popular, Jason X and Jason Goes to Hell. Do you watch any horror channels, Alex? Oh yeah, Joe Blow. Started out watching Elm Street Radio with Deandra and Paige a long time ago. Cinemassacre, the angry video game nerd. And then as far as just YouTube stuff in general, I listen to a lot of true crime. I listen to a lot of wrestling podcasts. I'm part of the cult of Cornette. I like his podcast. I like Solomonster. He's a really, really good wrestling podcaster. Don Tony's okay. He gets a little bit too into his own personal connections with the wrestlers and the community a little bit too much for I don't know. It's a little skewed. But he's pretty good. Don Tony's pretty good. And as far as true crime, there's this one true crime podcast. It's called True Crime Brewery. And it's weird that I like it because the people that host it are in their 60s or 70s. They have a beer of the week for each episode. And if you know me, I don't drink.
But just they're a married couple. Just their chemistry, the way that they tell the story, they're like telling a story by a fireside. It just I don't know. It's great. I'm entertained thoroughly every time. So True Crime Brewery is pretty good. And as far as like favorite horror movies, what's his name? Johnny Utah is his screen name. What? Pat Buchanan.
Yeah.
Return of the Living.
No, Buchanan Baxter or something.
Buchanan Baxter. Okay, so yeah, not the president. Lost Boys, Fright Night, Return of the Living Dead, Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors, Nightmare on Elm Street, the original. By the way, Nightmare on Elm Street was released in theaters on November 9th in 1984 today while we're recording, so it's the anniversary. Everything. You know what? I'm a fan. If it's a bad horror movie, I'm probably going to like it. I'm a big fan of going to Walmart, the bargain bins, and buying the $5 DVD compilations. I'll watch any horror movie, any place, anywhere, anytime. I don't give a fuck. I love horror.
One Lost Boys question for you. Do
I'm
you,
ready.
in fact, still believe?
I don't believe as much as he does because he's still going to conventions
I watched
with the saxophone,
with the codpiece.
with the everything. Here's a little behind the scenes story about the saxophone guy in Lost Boys. Joel Schumacher didn't have a lot of time for that character. Like on the script, it's like, hey, they go to the boardwalk and then they encounter a guy playing a saxophone or whatever, a band. Well, this guy took the role and ran with it. He created his own outfit for the film. Like he created that. That was him. Joel Schumacher didn't give him that wardrobe. That was all the saxophone guy.
He's 65, still performing that, and with the same gusto and energy and everything.
Yeah, he does a lot of
seems nice.
He does a lot of those what is it called when you cameos. He does a lot of cameos, and he puts a lot of effort into them, but they're all kind of the same. They all end with him playing the saxophone and talking about how he still believes. So, I mean, that's great. You know what? Way more successful than we are. And he only did, so he's still in fantastic shape physically. He's really positive. I think he'd be a great guy to have on the show. So saxophone guy from Lost Boys, if you're watching this episode, you're cordially invited to come on the show because we still believe.
And we'd love to have a discussion with you.
Yeah, getting sidetracked. Let's see what else is going on. What's his fitness routine? What does he eat? Does he play saxophone every day?
Has he seen the Sergio SNL skit?
Yeah, there's a lot
Have you seen that?
things.
Where the guy pops out all the time playing the saxophone? Okay.
No, I haven't. I haven't watched SNL live other than clips in over 20 years.
Oh, this was way back. This was like first year of Andy Samberg and them. But yeah, it's pretty funny.
Well,
it's pretty much a rip on that.
So, hey, we're about 20 minutes deep into this episode, and we haven't even gotten into the first segment. So let's do this. Nice comment, mean comment, nice comment. But Josh, I'm gonna warn you. We have 3 nice comments for this episode because we had a lot of really good stuff, and you personally requested one, so I had to squeeze it into the format here. All right, Josh. Yeah, squeeze it in, squeeze it out. Nice comment of the week. Sponsors should be pounding at your door. Very original format, very entertaining, and that's from Woexy Tare or Tari. And that is on Slash Trax News, episode number 19.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that. And whenever anyone says original format, I really take that to heart because it is an original format. I dare you to find a podcast on the internet that talks about horror, pro wrestling, sports, fun facts, weird headlines, audiobooks that are hard to find, narrated by the 80s slasher librarian. Just, we talk about everything. We run the whole gamut here.
Lots of semen.
Yeah, lots of semen. Here's a mean comment. So this is the mean comment of the week. And this one...
Is this the dumb one?
No, this one annoyed me a little bit. You wannabes just crapped all over a classic great horror movie. 0 out of 10. And that's from the YouTube user, YouTube name User. So his name is User. And that's regarding the Halloween special, Slash Trax number 31, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Okay. Classic horror movie there.
He loves robot witches. He loves, uh, actual nipple suction in places that shouldn't be allowed. He likes terrible deadbeat fathers that don't know how to stop murder sprees, even though he's in the room where he could have just knocked the TV over at the end of the movie.
Doesn't even the guy? Yeah, he could have saved the kids at the end.
He could have just knocked that TV. Yeah, he's not going to save everybody because he only got to 2 of the 3 big networks. But and by the way, back in the mid '80s or early '80s when that film was released, not everybody had cable at that point.
Yeah.
So the Halloween company is further flawed with their plan for killing all these kids.
3 cuffs, 3 masks.
Yeah, I would have been fine. Everything we watched as a kid was basically VCR. Like, my dad would tape stuff we enjoyed when we had sporadic spurts of having cable.
Yeah.
He'd make a full tape of Flintstones, and then, like, when we were broke again or he was out of work or whatever, we'd just watch that Flintstones tape, every day for like 2 straight months. You'd memorize the episodes. Here's the next nice comment. It's a pretty good one, Josh. Possibly the best riff you've ever done so far, and I'm anticipating episode number 32, and that's from Faratan Erdel, and that's on episode number 31, Slash Trax, number 31, which I just said, Season of the Witch, Halloween 3. Best riff ever of all time.
And that, not only is that awesome, I was going to say someone else also pointed out that our Halloween episode was episode 31. That was not by design. That was just a happy accident, as you said. That's pretty cool.
Episode number 31 on October 31.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And here's the last nice comment to end the first segment of the show. That was funny. Y'all had me laughing. Y'all had me laughing so hard I farted.
That's the one I wanted in.
Yeah, and that's from David Kabarov. Episode number 31, Season of the Witch, Halloween 3.
Thank you. We hope you didn't clear the room out of the other viewers, but we appreciate that comment.
I've never made somebody laugh so hard on a YouTube video where they almost shit their pants, so that's good.
Yeah, that's a hell of a compliment.
If we had a Slash Trax like DVD box set, and you know how they put like good comments about like from critics on the box set, that would be right above the title. Yes. Slash Trax Season 3, and then his name, and it would say, "I laughed so hard, I farted." That'd be pretty good. Yes. Critics agree. Slash Trax is 100% certified fresh. So fresh, in fact, you'll shit your pants.
9 out of 10 robotic witches recommend the show.
9 out of 10 robotic witches crap their pants watching this episode. Josh, as fun as that comment has been, what's even more fun than that, pal?
Let's see. Fun facts.
Fun facts.
Let's do it.
All right, Josh. You better hold on to your desk right there, buddy, because I'm going to blow you away.
Okay.
We're currently speeding through space at approximately 1.3 million miles per hour.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Whoa! Woo. Hold on! How are we even doing the show, man?
I know.
Hold on to your freaking hat there. Your hair should be blowing in the wind like a freaking Backstreet Boys music video from the 90s, dude. Look at you.
It does make you think about how tiny we really are, though. It's scary if you think about it. Here on this flat Earth.
Yeah, it's amazing that we're not just blown right off this. It's amazing that since we're going 1.3 miles per hour through space, that we're not blown off the side of the flat Earth.
Yeah.
Incredible. Josh, did you know that John F. Kennedy's brain has been missing for 55 years?
I did know about that, but I didn't learn it until like 3 or 4 days ago. From a YouTube short. That's it. I don't really know the details. Like, they think a family member took it or something? Is that the...
I don't know I don't know the backstory. I just know the fun fact. Part of his brain was missing when he was shot and assassinated, because his head was blown clean off, man. That was a mess.
Abracadabra. But yeah, apparently, like, his brother or something was a senator.
Bobby Kennedy.
Yeah, and they think that he removed it. Like he got access to it and got it out of there, just so people wouldn't I don't know, just a family thing. Protect his brother, I guess. I don't know.
Bobby was killed too. Bobby was assassinated as well. They were both killed, and they both had ties to Marilyn Monroe, which is kind of interesting. So they were both banging the same broad back in the day. And then they're saying that the Kennedys actually had Marilyn Monroe murdered because she was going to blow the lid off of them having an affair or their potential ties to the mafia.
Wow.
So she was killed or silenced by the Kennedys. So I don't know.
I think the Kennedys and the Von Erichs had ancestors that like made a deal with the Crossroads Demon, you know, for like power or money or whatever, and their descendants have been paying for it ever since. Because those are two cursed families, man. The Kennedys and the Von Erichs.
Wait a minute. You're saying that the Kennedys are cursed? They have ultimate power, infinite money, popularity, fame, political power. I don't consider that to be cursed. I would say the Vanover family, my family, is cursed.
I meant with all the deaths. And like the Von Erichs and all the suicides and stuff.
Substance abuse, people dying of diseases and
Don't
stuff.
Make a deal with the Crossroads Demon, and they'll have all that, and your descendants will be the ones that pay for it, like the Kennedys and the Von Erichs.
So if we make
all the dead ones, they're dead. You're alive.
Oh, wait a second. You're saying if the Vanovers right now, me, and the LaRues, your family right now, we make the deal so me and you reap the rewards, but our ancestors will be punished.
Our descendants will be punished.
Well, we won't be around for that, so I'll do that deal.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Any Crossroads Demons, we're ready. We'll sign.
Yeah, we're fine. Give us a call. Send us an email at slashtrax2020@gmail.com, any Crossroads Demons, and we'll look into that offer for
our souls.
A descendant's curse, yeah. And if you want to sponsor the show and you're a Crossroads Demon that happens to have a company or something, you want to get the word out about your deals, your terrible deals for souls and stuff, and you want to sponsor an episode and work together, send us an email at slashtrax2020@gmail.com. Josh, did you know if a fetus doesn't get enough calcium from its mother's diet, it will actually get the calcium from its mother's bones?
That's creepy. Little parasites, man, I'm telling you.
Well, the mom should be drinking more milk and taking care of the baby, first of all. What's the mom? Is it a 1980s mom like our mom? My mom was like putting Pepsi in my baby bottle and like probably chain smoking and drinking alcohol when I was...
Just putting a rubber nipple on the end of like a glass Pepsi bottle or something, you know? There you go.
There's photos of me when I'm like 3 or 4. My face is absolutely covered in chocolate. Like, she would just buy me Hostess cupcakes. I would make an absolute freaking mess of it. I had Pepsi in my bottles. This is before the internet. This is before social media. This is before, I guarantee she was doing shit she shouldn't have done when she was pregnant with me, which would probably explain a lot of my issues to this day. Anxiety and just feelings of inadequacy my entire life. Probably directly linked to my mom's lack of calcium and overuse of cigarettes and alcohol during my, during the first and second trimester, I'm sure.
You know that if children don't get enough stuff they want as they grow older, they'll suck all the money from their parents to get it?
Yeah, that's a little payback, too. Like, you didn't give me enough calcium, you didn't give me enough support, you didn't come to my baseball and football games, bitch. I'm taking it all on the back end. Josh, here's another fun fact. The first official U.S. coin had this motto on it: mind your business.
Okay.
Mind your manners. Stay in your lane, bitch.
Yeah.
Basically.
Money is going to always be just this mystifying thing to me, because it is literally completely based on some person long ago dug a shiny rock out of the ground and said, this is valuable. And now it's all about paper based on shiny rocks. And that's what makes you successful or not. So,
well, we need more of that. We need more shiny rocks for the show. We need to upgrade the studio, I think. We need to get more interns. Yeah, more interns. You were a little slow on the draw with the emails earlier. So we need to get somebody that just pulls it up immediately. We need to hire somebody. When your hair is not looking as full of life and as bouncy as it should be, we need somebody off camera in a green suit, like where they make video games and they have the little balls all over them so you can't see them in the back. They motion capture. So we can't see them on camera, right? But we'll just see your hair being fluffed in the background and teased. You know what I mean?
If you want to be an intern, apply at the email.
Slash Trax 2020 at gmail.com. If you'd like to be an intern and wear a green screen suit with motion capture balls and fluff and tease Josh's hair during an actual filming of Slash Trax podcast Action News, write us an email. Tell us who you are and why you want to do it.
And stay happy, okay? Don't let it bring you down that our entire money system is based on a bunch of people playing pretend about shiny rocks, and that our whole existence is really, if you think about it, just a bunch of people playing pretend. It would fall apart if everybody quit playing. It's going to be okay.
All right. That being said, speaking of shiny rocks, this thing is worth a lot of shiny rocks. In 2018, the world's most expensive bottle of vodka, worth $1.3 million, was stolen, and it was found later on empty on a construction site.
Good. There should not be a bottle of anything that's worth $1.3 million unless it's got a genie that pops out and gives you $1.3 million.
What is the bottle's got to be worth something even if the liquid isn't in it anymore, because it would be like, hey, this was the bottle that held the most expensive vodka ever. It's got to be worth something.
See, more playing pretend right there. Just, oh, poof, that's what that's worth. It's like the books I narrate, you know. It's like, I wonder how much Carnival of Maniacs should be going for. Let me add up the year. No, it's just $125, you know. They're charging people an arm and a leg on eBay and Amazon, just grabbing prices out of the air. The Halloween novelization, Alex, can go up over $1,000 on Amazon for a fucking book.
Well, hey,
it's crazy.
You're talking like people that don't know what collector's items are worth, Josh. You know who I am. You know who your buddy is here, Josh. You know who your co-host, your partner.
Yeah, but you have ways of, like with toys and stuff, there's a grading system. But with these novelizations, the people are just pulling prices out of the air, hoping that they'll get the price. Take advantage of the horror fans.
You got a Winston with a proton pack for your birthday from me, pal. If you want more goodies like that, you better mind your business, in the words of the first U.S. coin, pal.
Hey, one of my first trolls was a eBay Amazon buyer that was pissed that I was doing the books for free. So
he's like, "Damn it! Stop making these expensive, hard to find books available to the masses. You're a jerk." What an idiot. Hey, Josh, last fun fact of the episode here.
Okay.
Male alligators have permanent erections. Permanent. They're just always have an erection, constantly.
That's what happens when you don't see a doctor after 4 hours.
That's why they're angry and they're attacking people, these saltwater crocodiles. I don't know if have you ever had an erection that wouldn't go away after intercourse? I mean, it happens from time to time. Can't zip your pants up. Can't piss. Puberty. Yeah. Oh my God, Josh. Gosh. Puberty was horrible for me because I was fat and I wore sweatpants and shorts a lot. So can't hide an erection when you've got sweatpants and shorts on, pal. And then whenever I had, my erection was like a hairpin trigger. It could get set off for no reason at all. Like I could just be looking at the chalkboard and it would have like a word, the teacher's writing a word that starts with S, but sex starts with S. So immediately I'm like, oh, like what are we doing here, teach? You know, and then boom, erection. I'm fucked.
If anybody pointed it out, all you have to do is be like, oh, I'm not Alex, I'm a male crocodile.
Hey, before we get into sports, I want to do a dad joke for the episode.
Okay.
I never do dad jokes.
Okay.
How do you know if you've seen an alligator or crocodile? Because if you saw a crocodile, it's after a while, and if you saw an alligator, it's later.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the joke. Let's cleanse our palate with some Slash Trax sports.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. So, Mattress Mac. Have you heard of Mattress Mac in Houston?
Yes.
At all? Okay, you haven't. Mattress Mac is a guy who owns a bunch of mattress stores. He's like 70 years old.
Oh, okay.
So he's probably regionally famous, but he's nationally famous now because he bet $10 million on the Astros to win the World Series.
Wow.
And they did win the World Series, and he just won the largest sports bet legal payout in sports betting history. He won $75 million.
Wow.
You know how he set that whole thing up?
How?
He has this promotion at his mattress stores. So he's like, customers will come in. So if we want a mattress, he's like, Alex, Josh, come in and buy a mattress. If the Astros win, I'll buy you guys your mattress.
Okay.
But if they lose, you need to pay for your mattress, right? So he's drumming up all these customers he never would have gotten in a million years had he not had this promotion. Well, last year he bet on a certain team to win, and they actually lost. So all these people were on the hook for mattresses, which actually covered his $10 million in bets. So he hedged it. It was completely even.
Wow.
Right? It's pretty smart.
Yeah.
Well, they won this year. So all these Houstonians are getting free mattresses, and Mattress Mac is getting $75 million. It actually worked.
He's taking Houston to the mattresses.
That's genius.
Yeah.
That is genius. Mattress Mac, good for you. He's getting a lot of shiny rocks tonight, buddy. Gosh darn it. Josh.
I'm so sad.
On the same, so this is kind of a World Series themed sports section. So that was about that one was about the World Series. So Game 3 of the World Series, last week, the Philadelphia Phillies tied the record with 5 home runs hit in the same game. So the Phillies, cloud 9, Game 3, they won it. They hit 5 home runs. They were up 2-1 in the series. They actually ended up losing the World Series, by the way. So that was the height of their success. Game 4, right? The very next game. So Game 3, they set the record for home runs in a game. Game 4, that same Phillies team was the second team ever to be no-hit in the World Series.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they went from 5 homers setting the record to being no-hit and also tying another record, but a completely different one.
Like a worse one. Wow. Okay.
Crap the bed. And then here's...
Well, they can go get a new mattress from Mattress Mac. There.
Mattress Mac. There's a clip of Mattress Mac. There's some fans, like the Phillies had just beaten the Astros, I think, in Game 3. And Mattress Mac is being confronted by fans, and they're like, you're going to lose your bet, blah, 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 you're a piece of crap. And it shows Mattress Mac freaking out and confronting the fans and cussing them out and using the F-bomb like multiple times. Yeah, it's good shit. Here's the last sports story of the episode, Josh. I know you're excited for this.
Yeah.
Former MLB star. So this is a former MLB star outfielder, Jose Canseco. First player to ever hit 40 home runs, steal 40 bases in the same season, recently tweeted, and he tweeted directly to Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge plays for the Yankees. He's an outfielder. He just broke the American League home run record for home runs in a season. He hit 62. So Aaron Judge is the American League all-time home run champion for one season. Jose Canseco tweeted out, I can still hit a softball further than you can hit a baseball. Anytime you want to find out, contact me. Jose Canseco has a troubled and checkered past since he retired. He wrote a book called Juiced, which blew the lid off of Major League Baseball, and he basically named names of all the players that use steroids. He was never sued for being liable because, it was true. And
if it's true, it's
that book led to the congressional meetings for MLB in the 2000s, which eventually led to MLB adopting new, tougher, stricter steroid policy. But Jose Canseco is basically a pariah. People think of him as a snitch. They think of him as a rat. He's staged fights with UFC fighters where he's just trying to get money, and he gets his ass kicked in like 10 seconds. Canseco's a buff guy. He's very fit, but he's not a fighter. He's done a lot of weird publicity things, and this just kind of seems like another thing. And Canseco is my favorite baseball player ever. As a kid, I thought he walked on water, and I still hold him in high regard, but this is not a good look for Jose. He should be congratulating Judge, not talking about hitting us. He's not going to be able to hit a softball further than the all-time American League home run champion can hit a baseball. That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
fast.
I actually remember whenever he came out about the steroid use in Major League Baseball, and I was like shocked. I was like, oh my God, these guys aren't naturally hitting balls like 3 ballparks away. It just blew my
600
mind.
feet.
Yeah, it blew my mind. I was like, I thought they were like naturally doing this without any help at all.
Yeah, Barry Bonds was routinely hitting balls into the McCovey Cove in San Francisco. He's hitting them into. People are getting home run balls by being in a canoe outside of the stadium. They're not even getting the home run balls in the stands. They're out there with a
Middle of
life
the
preserver. Yeah, they're in a body of water in a canoe with an anchor rowing around looking for a home run ball. It's insane. Let's get into Slash Trax wrestling.
All right.
All right, so this is today. This is breaking news, just like the Nightmare on Elm Street being released today news. This is fresh wrestling
Can we
news.
have one rule for our wrestling segments?
What?
We never talk about Logan Paul in wrestling. Is that fair?
I don't. Yeah, that's fine. I don't want to talk about Logan Paul, and I don't want to talk about Bad Bunny in wrestling either.
Okay, sweet. Awesome.
All right, but if it's a really good story, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
But for the most part, no Logan Paul. Got it. All right. Road Dogg, Jesse James, DX member, great on the mic, mid card guy. Triple H kind of carried his ass around for a long time. Any main event stuff he ever did was probably because he was involved in an angle with Triple H or China or Shawn Michaels. Anyway, Road Dogg today on Twitter made this comment. I don't think Bret Hart was a great wrestler. I think I was better at sports entertaining than Bret was. And wrestling, and in the sport of wrestling, that's where the money is. Sports entertaining, not actually the wrestling. So
that's why Road Dogg is a multiple world heavyweight champion.
that's why when Road Dogg left the WWE for the first time in the late 90s, nobody fucking noticed or cared. Why the hell?
No. Really?
Oh, you didn't know? Yeah, then I'm gone. Nobody's ass told you. Hey, why would he?
There's a video of him saying he could beat The Rock's ass too, man. I know I've seen it where he's like being interviewed, and you can't tell if he's trying to joke about it or not.
In a real
fight?
He
said he hated The Rock. Huh?
In a real shoot fight?
Yeah, he said he hated The Rock when he first came to WWF, and he should have kicked his ass or something.
Good
he
luck
could be
with.
kidding.
Oh yeah. Good luck with that. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. I read his autobiography when it came out. There's a story in his book where he's at a family function. This is like a young Rock. This is like 21, 22-year-old Rock.
On NBC. Oh, go ahead.
Somebody insulted one of his family members, and The Rock just jumped the guy's shit and tried to rip his tongue out of his head.
Wow. Yeah. Go knock on his door, D-O-double-G. Go for that. Go for
He tried to rip the guy's tongue out of his head. That sounds like something that Ming, Haku would do.
Well, it's in his blood, so.
That's dude. You don't mess with people like that. If they're willing to put their hand in your mouth and knowing you could bite down, and they're still trying to rip your tongue out of your head, you got a problem. Road Dogg. Road Dogg is delusional, and I think the only reason he's commenting on this today is because it's also the anniversary of the Montreal Screwjob today.
Oh, okay.
So it's a big story.
In relevance.
Yeah, but I just think, Road Dogg needs to mind his business and stay in his lane. Road Dogg just replaced Jeff Jarrett as not a road agent, but like VP of like talent consultations or whatever the hell, some fluff job that his buddy Triple H gave him, and he replaced Double J, and Double J just signed with AEW and made his appearance on AEW last week.
His brother Brad was a hell of a worker, like a wrestler. Mm-hmm. He was like contracted WCW, and he was just a jobber over there. But he was way better than Road Dogg, way better.
I will say this about Brian James, the person. He was in the military. He served his country. He's a very decent human being. He's had his own personal struggles with substance abuse. He seems to be a good family man now. He's not in great physical shape. I will say that. I know the two don't really. They don't go. I'm judging him right now. So he could be in a little bit better shape. He is a good family man. He seems to be a good worker outside and inside of the ring. I feel like this is an extremely bad look. And Bret Hart is a 5-time former WWF World Champion when that meant something.
Yeah.
If you were a world champion for the World Wrestling Federation in the early 90s or the late 80s, you held the belt for quite a while, and you were the guy that they based the entire franchise around.
Yep.
Road Dogg never had the belt, never even sniffed having the World Championship. He was there jerking the curtain in the early 90s, mid-90s as Double J's roadie, okay? And then him and Badass Billy Gunn struck lightning in a bottle and became one of the best tag teams ever, okay?
Yeah.
Tag team. He was not carrying it by himself, okay?
Right as tag teams quit meaning something.
Yeah, so...
Like right at the end of it. Was he ever European champion, or was he just tag champion?
I'm sure he probably had a lot of hardcore title shots, probably had some European title shots.
European was the TV title of WCW. You know,
Yeah.
it's like,
Cruiser-
you're the best of the shit wrestlers.
I'm sure that he had a couple cruiserweight title opportunities, but he probably ate his way out of the cruiserweight picture. Yeah. I don't know. I just think that Road Dogg needs to stay in his lane.
Yeah.
If he wants to talk about Bret Hart, is one thing, but don't drag Bret Hart's name under the bus when you don't have to. Bret Hart didn't say a thing about Double J. It was totally unwarranted. It was like somebody in our comments talking shit just to talk shit. There's no reason. Bret Hart didn't address Road Dogg. It had nothing to do with anything.
There's plenty of stuff to shit on Bret Hart about, but him not being a great champion and one of the greatest wrestlers.
Yeah, one of the greatest
them.
workers ever, one of the best working punches, one of the greatest sellers. He was one of the best storytellers ever. If you hurt his left knee in the storyline, he would be selling the left knee injury the entire time, and even after the match, he'd be selling it.
Dude, he's been selling a kick from Goldberg for like 30 years. I mean,
That's it, you dirty bastard. Hey, great segue, by the way, because now they're going to think... Yeah, great segue. Now people are going to think that you know the rundown, which you don't, but here you go. Ryback recently came out and said that he wants to be Goldberg's last match. So, do you want Ryback back in the WWE to challenge Goldberg one last match for Goldberg with Ryback?
Never liked Ryback. Thought he was a Goldberg clone to begin with, and I don't think there's a chance in hell that Triple H is going to let him back in WWF. There's some really, really bad blood there.
Nuclear heat. Nuclear.
Yeah.
Like, Ryback dragged Triple H's father-in-law through the mud. I think Ryback was pissed off that he wasn't being used correctly or paid as much as he felt he should be. He had some... I think the whole Ryback situation was really interesting because when CM Punk was done with his first WWE run, his only WWE run, one of his biggest issues was that he kept having to wrestle Ryback, and Ryback was injuring him legit in the ring. And then Ryback called him a pussy and good riddance and all this stuff. Well, Ryback ended up going out the exact same way that CM Punk went out, trashing the front office and talking about how he was wrestling injured and not being paid. Like, he went out the exact same way that he dragged CM Punk through the mud for doing on that podcast with Colt Cabana. It's just really interesting. It was like...
See, that's the difference between 90s WWF wrestlers and the current ones. You know, the current ones just talk shit on the way out the door. The 90s ones try to choke the boss to death in his office during a pay-per-view.
Nailz?
You know? Yeah, Nailz.
That was about the Survivor Series payday, by the way.
Yeah, like he tried to kill Vince McMahon in his office, people. Yeah.
And then Nailz tried to, like, in court, say that the reason he tried to, at the steroid trial, the reason he tried to choke out Vince McMahon was because Vince McMahon made a sexual pass at him.
Yeah, okay. I mean, now I don't know if I doubt that.
No, was Nailz a paralegal? First of all, no, he was a convict. Okay, he was wearing a big orange jumpsuit, said DOC on the back.
Like, oh, I want to nail you.
I want to talk about my payday, Vince. And Vince is like, hold on 1 second, pal. Thinking about maybe wanting to have some sex with you before we talk about this Survivor Series payday.
You want to know what the Survivor Series is really about? You got to survive this. What? Shouldn't Nailz have been like the happiest wrestler in the entire locker room? Like the character Nailz? He's a prisoner that's getting out of prison to go beat people up. You know? He always looks so pissed. I'd be happy if I was not having to stay.
Should have been a baby face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm out of my cell.
Yeah. Should have been a bit. You know who should have been pissed is Isaac Yankem, because back in the 90s when the WWF business, like when they were getting rid of the water cooler at Titan Towers, like they actually got rid of the water cooler from Titan Towers because they were going broke. That was when Isaac Yankem DDS was running around the WWF before Glenn Jacobs was Kane. He should have been pissed because he was probably making way less money wrestling for them than he would have cleaning teeth and extracting, lateral incisors and wisdom teeth. He would have been making way more money as a dentist than as a wrestler back then.
He had rockin' theme music, though, man.
What was it, just a drill? Was it just a drill?
Yeah.
His arch nemesis, Vince, is like, picture this. We're going to take the guy who was Bastion Booger, and we're going to turn him. He's going to be the babyface. He's going to be Isaac Yankem's kryptonite. We're going to call Bastion Booger Novocaine. He's going to be Novocaine. And they're going to hate each other because Isaac Yankem's trying to drill and hurt people's teeth. But Novocaine is trying to, soothe and calm the patient down and take the pain away. Right?
How do we work shit into it, though?
well, because Nailz is going to be cornholing Vince in the office about his Survivor Series payday, getting screwed over, and then, all of a sudden the Road Warriors will walk by and they'll be like, he's got a shit? Huh? What's going on in there? And then Vince is like, shut the damn door. I'm talking about Nailz becoming a paralegal. God damn it. Hey, Mick Foley. So this is kind of a sad story. And I am in no way surprised by this story, Josh.
Okay.
Mick Foley recently said that he has muscular, neurological, and skeletal damage.
Yeah.
And he's quoted as saying, I'm paying a steeper price than I thought imaginable. So when I saw this story about Mick, it didn't surprise me at all, because when I would see Mick doing interviews or being Santa Claus for Christmas or doing all these great things he does, and he's really well spoken and extremely well read. You'd never know that if you didn't follow Mick, because his characters were so, Mankind was living in a fucking boiler room with pet rats and pulling his hair out and stuff. Mick Foley is very articulate. I wasn't surprised, though, because I was shocked that he was doing as well as he appeared to be doing physically.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I can tell you this. I'm a nobody that got into wrestling on the indie circuit for like 10 years. I added it up, and I had probably just shy of 700 matches total. Okay, total. And I'm 38 years old now. I've been out of it since 2010. I did one match up until 2013, one each year.
WrestleMania payday.
Every day, I have to get my elbow to pop. I have to get my knee to pop. I've dislocated my left knee 7 times. And if it doesn't pop, I can't bend my knee. It hurts so bad. I have to roll out of bed some days. And that's just being a nobody on the indie circuit. 700 matches total. These guys wrestle 300 and something matches a year.
Mm-hmm.
And every time Mick went out there, he put his body through so much more than most wrestlers do. And
that's an understatement.
I'm surprised he's walking.
Yeah,
huh?
That's an understatement. When he took the bump through the Hell in the Cell, and his tooth went through his nose, and he's been said in interviews that when that happened, he doesn't remember finishing the match. He doesn't remember pulling out the tacks. He doesn't remember the next bump he took, because he took a bump off the top of the cage onto a table before he fell through the cage, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so he
table.
took 2 huge bumps in that match. After the second bump, he was out. He doesn't remember pulling the tacks out. He doesn't remember the tooth coming through his nose. So he was on Dream Street for real. I'm sure that Mick probably has one of the most gruesome cases of CTE ever.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. I hope he doesn't, but there's no way that he doesn't. And I hope nothing but the best for Mick Foley because he's a wonderful human being, and I hate to see him going through such pain. And I just want the best for the guy.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I thought, every year it gets a little worse. Like, I'm not even 40, and I can tell you when it's going to rain without seeing the weather.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I'm glad he retired when he did.
He retired from
30s,
active
right?
roster daily wrestling when he was in his mid-30s, and then he came back with TNA, and he made a couple appearances with WWE later on, like WrestleMania 20. Him and The Rock versus Evolution was a great match.
Yeah.
But he in no way even needed to make those appearances, to be honest with you. And I'm glad.
He did some TNA stuff.
Yeah, the TNA stuff I think is mostly forgettable. Like when he was wrestling Ric Flair in hardcore matches, that was ridiculous. That was absurd. Anything Ric Flair has done past 1996 or 7 never needed to happen. And you know what the saddest... Now we're going to talk about Rick real quick. You know what the saddest part about Rick is? He's such a great speaker, and he's so charismatic. He never had to do anything in the ring after his in-ring career was over because he could have been one of the greatest managers or greatest broadcasters or announcers or anything. He could have did anything he wanted, but he's so passionate about his in-ring work that, like you said, he's going to kill himself in the ring.
Yeah, he is going to do one more match. It's going to be a handicap match. It's going to be a tag match, but it's still going to be a handicap match, probably when it's over. No, the Ricky Steamboat thing has lit a fire under him for real, people. And you're probably going to hear, what do you think, about 6-7 months from now he's going to do it again?
Well, he was already getting offers to wrestle again right after his final match. I think this is the most heel thing Ric Flair has ever done by claiming that this was his final match. It was even on the ring. What is it called? The
apron.
The ring apron. It was like Ric Flair's last match. It was a Jim Crockett production. I mean, the whole thing was for Rick. I think he's kind of robbing the public here if he says he's going to have another last match. Just like, come on, man. Like, do your podcast. Go back to WWE. You're finally back on the entrance of Raw, like the opening segment of Raw for like when they introduce the show and stuff. You're in Triple H's good graces again. Just go, if you want to be in the business, go be a manager. Like, don't wrestle anymore.
Roberts, man, he was an amazing manager. Like, he's perfect for it.
He could be behind the scenes setting matches up and booking stuff. He booked in WCW when he was still very active in the ring. He just, I don't know, man.
Do a Royal Rumble surprise entrance or something and get thrown out.
Don't even. I don't want him anywhere near the ring. Once you have to wear a T-shirt to the ring, it's over. Like, once you can't pull off not wearing a T-shirt, you're done. Here's the last wrestling story of the episode, Josh.
Okay.
Triple H is reportedly open to a CM Punk WWE return.
Oh yeah, Triple H, man, he's all about putting the business first. So that does not surprise me.
CM Punk was officially fired on his wedding day. They faxed him, WWE front office faxed him his termination papers on his wedding day. That's pretty gnarly, Josh.
It is. I mean, that's pretty fucked up. But I'm just saying, like, I think Triple H and Shawn Michaels are going to do a lot for WWE and NXT over the next couple years. I think it's gonna change some stuff up. Doesn't mean I'm gonna start watching it, but we'll see.
So apparently, Punk and AEW are reportedly in talks regarding a contract buyout. So that's kind of would hold up the situation with WWE. Triple H is open to another run for CM Punk with the company within reason, for the right money, creative situation. and just, working environment. So it sounds like Triple H, if CM Punk is kind of on board and he's not asking for the moon and he doesn't want to have like full creative control, I think Triple H would bite. Knowing Phil Brooks, like we know him, I think CM Punk would want full creative control. I think CM Punk would want to be in the main event picture, which he probably would be. He's extremely popular. He's still
going to bring a lot of audience with him.
Yeah, he's still a really good wrestler. AEW had their biggest gate ever with CM Punk headlining the pay-per-view, which is weird because shortly after CM Punk pulled the whole eating a muffin thing with Tony Khan, the owner of AEW, right next to him, and started like bad-mouthing that vice presidents of AEW right in front of Tony Khan, and it was a mess.
Yeah.
Okay. But he had just, headlined one of the biggest pay-per-views AEW had ever had. But apparently CM Punk has a non-compete clause that could prevent a speedy CM Punk return to WWE. So there's a lot of moving parts to this, and we don't even know if CM Punk is open to a return, and we don't know what the pay would be. We don't know if CM Punk would agree to it. We don't know how long we'd have to wait. And also, CM Punk is currently injured right now.
Yeah.
He's still injured.
I don't know.
Yeah,
and he might have missed his window, honestly. I don't know. I'm trying to see how he would fit into the landscape of WWE right now. And I think AEW was better for him.
One of the biggest issues I would have with that is Cody Rhodes. When Cody Rhodes comes back, I would hate for CM Punk to show up and steal Cody Rhodes' spot or chance for a run with the championship. I think that would be ridiculous. That would be really sad because Cody Rhodes, before he got hurt, was turning into a freaking legend. He finished that match, his final match before he got hurt. He was hurt, where he tore his pec.
Yeah, he was turning into Grimace.
Yeah, he tore his pec, and his whole arm was purple and red and blue. Cody Rhodes is like legend status right now. I would hate for CM Punk to show up and steal his shine or his spot. But you know what? If CM Punk could fit in and not be a complete asshole behind the scenes like he's been known to do, because CM Punk is straight edge. He doesn't bullshit. He'll tell you exactly what he thinks. I admire a lot of things about him. But I don't like that he seems to be petty. He seems to hold on to things. He seems to be very combative about things he shouldn't be. And when you hold on to anger or you hold on to like little slights, that doesn't hurt the person that you're mad at. It hurts you. It rots away at you. It's just hurting you. So I wish he could grow a little bit more as a person.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How's Edge doing over there? Like, is he still competing? Or?
Yeah, he's been hurt on and off. I mean, he's older. He's got an injury history. He just came back from an injury. I believe he's a face again because he was a heel. He's flipped more than the Big Show in this recent comeback. Yeah, I couldn't really tell you, to be honest with you. I hope. Listen, we're gonna end the wrestling segment on this.
Okay.
If CM Punk does come back, it'll be a huge deal. It'll pop a huge rating. My question is, how long will the honeymoon last?
There you go.
Before CM Punk gets pissed and, you know what I mean? The plume comes off the rose again, or the bloom, or whatever.
I'll give it 7 months. Let's give us your predictions in the comments. How long would it take CM Punk to pipe bomb his way out of his second tenure in WWE?
I'm saying less than 7 months. I'm saying like Ultimate Warrior 1992 comeback. I'm saying like 5 months, 4 months.
Okay.
All right, Josh, let's get into some horror and spooky news, buddy.
Let's do it.
All right. This is a big one, Josh. I hope you've saved your money recently. Do you have a large savings account right now? Because you're going to need it.
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to beat you to it. I'm going to try to beat you to it then.
Okay.
There's a vintage Ghoulies Goes to School movie prop monster. So one of the monsters from our favorite film, Ghoulies Go to School, is currently up for bid on eBay. The asking price for the buy it now is $2,500, or there's another option. 24 easy monthly payments of $112 a month. So you can buy a Toyota Yaris, or you can buy a screen-used Ghoulies Go to School monster, screen-used monster. What do you think?
Well, I think the entire audience just left the show to rush over to eBay. And installment plan. Can't beat that.
24 easy monthly payments of only $112.
Only $112.
The monster that's up for, grabs on eBay, the mouth is wide open, and somebody in the comments said, it looks like the monster has thrush, because the tongue is it looks like the tongue is coated with a bunch of white crap. It looks
Is
like
it the baby one?
I can't remember which one it is. I saw that and I was like, oh my God, how is this $2,500? The movie probably didn't even cost $2,500 to make.
Oh, you wait till Master Evil makes us watch Ghoulies 4. Oh my God.
Can't wait.
They're not even puppets in that. It's just, you'll see.
Or Carnosaur 4.
Raptor. It's just reused footage of the first 3 movies.
Can't wait for that one either. Maybe we can have Ryan come on and do that episode with us.
Yeah, because he's in it too. So, yeah.
Yeah, the star of Carnosaur 2, our buddy Ryan Johnson. Maybe he can be on the episode of Slash Trax where we make fun of Raptor. He's actually in the movie, so that'd be really interesting.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I don't know that he'd do it though, unless he's got a sense of humor about it. It's like I don't know.
I don't know if he's in it, but footage from his movie pops up a lot. In Raptor,
like where he's driving the heister or the forklift, and he's battling the Tyrannosaurus Rex or whatever. Yeah. All right. So here we don't normally do this, but here's a horror fun fact. So Michael McDonald, and everybody kind of knows him from Mad TV. Look what I can do. He's Stuart, you know.
Little John.
He's Little John in Halloween Kills.
Yeah.
But Michael McDonald is the only actor ever who has been killed by both Michael Myers on screen.
Oh, wow.
He is killed as Little John in Halloween Kills, and he's also killed as a security guard in Austin Powers when he's ran over very slowly by Austin Powers in the hallway. He's like, no!
Fun fact to add to that, he's also killed in Carnosaur 2. Oh no, he's a helicopter pilot in Carnosaur 2.
Yeah.
And then he's a police officer that gets killed in Carnosaur 3.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I remember him in Carnosaur 3, not the first Carnosaur. Okay, so here's the third horror spooky news story. So on November 1st, 37 years ago, Freddy's Revenge was released in theaters. So huge Slash Trax episode of ours was Freddy's Revenge. It's actually starting to, what was that, episode 16?
2.
What? No.
Oh, Freddy's Revenge. Yeah, that was
number 16, number 15,
no,
something.
It was in the 20s, actually.
Okay.
That's the one we did more recently. Yeah.
But anyway, it was released 37 years ago on November 1st, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on Freddy's Revenge real quick. Did you enjoy that movie? Or I know we make fun of it quite a bit, and has a lot of homoerotic undertones that they didn't know about when they were making the film. Or maybe, later on, the guy who wrote the film actually admitted to it. But we don't know if that's hindsight, he's just playing it up, or if he actually meant it. But did you like that movie? Do you enjoy that movie?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I think it's the scariest looking Freddy out of all of them.
I agree.
I missed the dream sequence stuff, and then the stuff at the end is really weird. But the special effects are great, like when he burst out of the body. There's a lot of memorable moments in that one. You've got the body, I've got the brain. That's one of the most used quotes too. And you're all my children now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Probably the darkest Freddy that they've had almost. There's no real one-liners or puns. He's just wants to kill in this film. He wants to take over Jesse's body and kill as many people as he can. The makeup's great. There's some great.
Decide on the font at the beginning of the movie because it changes like 3 times with the title.
Yeah, that's really. I'll tell you, there's 2 scenes in that film that scared me as a kid. It was the first one was the school bus going into the desert. That scared the shit out of me. And then just I've said this before multiple times. The scene where Jesse is looking down in the basement and Freddy's down there by the furnace. It's just a really creepy image. I don't know why that creeps me out so much. Pretty good flick. Probably the best VHS cover of the Nightmare on Elm Street series. It's like Freddy with the claw, and it's like blue and flames, and Freddy's kind of in front of it. That one always scared the crap out of me when I went to my local video store. It's also, which I mentioned earlier in the episode, today is the anniversary of the first Nightmare on Elm Street being released in theaters in 1984. And what are your thoughts on that one, Josh?
It's one of the better ones in the series. The first one always is. I really hate how they couldn't make up their mind if she defeated Freddy or not with the ending. It felt kind of cheap, you know.
You can thank Robert Shea for that.
Yeah, that's Robert Shea.
Robert Shea. That's his.
I wish the whole turning your back on him thing could have got brought back at some point. But yeah, I mean, it's in my top 3. It's not my favorite of all time, but it's in my top 3. So,
Nightmare on Elm Street, the original 1984 classic. Fantastic idea. Very good practical effects for the most part. The stairs with the oatmeal mush where Nancy's running up haven't aged that well because you can see where she's going to step, where it is before she steps. That's almost like parakeet on a fishing pole with a string in Freddy's Revenge bad. And the scene that takes me out of it every time is the end of the film where the mom, the blow-up doll, gets sucked through the door.
What about when Freddy gets set on fire and all of a sudden he shrinks like 3 inches and puts on 40 pounds?
Yeah, that was ridiculous too. And you're also 100% correct on the ending. Nancy turns her back on Freddy and takes away his energy, which is actually a really great, like kind of a comparison to problems in your everyday life. So if you have like people with obsessive compulsive disorder, or if you're really fixated on something and you give your time and energy to it, it builds up and becomes bigger than it is. But if you decide like, fuck it, I'm no longer fixating on this, I'm no longer going to give my energy to it, it eventually goes away. I mean, for the most part, unless you're really, really bad. But
dead or something.
Yeah, you can defeat the demons in your life. And I think by Robert Shea wanting to leave the ending kind of open for a sequel, it kind of diminished the vision that Wes Craven originally had, because it was supposed to be a standalone film.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, it's a good flick. I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street is one of the greatest horror movies ever made. Totally original.
The remake's not horrible. The remake's not horrible either. It's just not original. They didn't do enough changes to it, really.
I could do without all the child molestation, Josh, in the remake. I could do without that.
I mean, the original Freddy did that too. They just didn't talk about it as much. But
allegedly, Wes Craven wrote him, but at that time when Nightmare on Elm Street was released, there was a person that ran a daycare was like molesting kids, and it was a big story at the time. Yeah. So like they took it out of the film and they never really put it back in. But the undertones were there, but they never directly expressed that. But you kind of figure
we'll have to riff the remake one day. For sure.
Absolutely. So if Master Evil, if you're watching, please let's make fun of Nightmare on Elm Street, the 2009 remake, that shitter. So, Josh, another spooky story for the episode. Production company A24 is developing a Friday the 13th prequel series titled Crystal Lake for Peacock. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I heard. I'm not interested. I'm just not interested.
Why?
The Pamela story is tired. It's really, I think the remake, the reboot remake of Friday the 13th handled the Pamela story the best by giving it like the first 10 minutes of the movie. That's all you really need to know. Like, I don't know how much they can really do with the TV series if Jason isn't a part of it, you know?
They can have young Jason, but since adult Jason, I think, is tied up in the lawsuit, they can't.
Well, the lawsuit's over. It's over. They settled. It's done.
I'm not excited about this prequel for the exact same reasons that you're not excited. What is the prequel going to be? What, Mrs. Voorhees is punching in and out, going to cook at Crystal Lake? Jason's alive and well, before he drowns. Like she's just going to grocery shop, and like Mr. Christie's there, everybody's fine. Ralph is, fine. He's not warning anybody. He's not a complete drunk lunatic running around the town.
I know what. She's going to be working at the camp part-time, but also running a store where you have to, with mystical artifacts.
The Necronomicon shows up, yeah?
Yeah, you have to track down mystical artifacts every episode and break the curse. Like the original Friday the 13th series. I don't know. It just sounds... Maybe if it was like a mini-series, just like a 6-part thing or something.
What the hell are they going to talk about? Unless Creighton Duke shows up and this is how Creighton Duke gets his backstory. He kind of works in the kitchen at the campground. This is before he's a bounty hunter. And he's sticking hot dogs through donut holes with Pamela in the kitchen there. He's kind of like on to Pamela. She's kind of in the dark arts, but he's doing dishes, quietly because he's not a big-time bounty hunter yet. And he's on to what's going on, from the start. I think we need to get Adam Marcus on and pitch that idea to him.
Yeah, or if the town was evil, like in the Eric Morse books, like there's evil in the ground or something. I don't know, but
yeah,
it's pointless.
I don't understand where they're going to go with it. I'm sure it's going to be something like you just said. The town, like it's going to be like Haddonfield or like Derry or whatever. It's the town. What an original idea. Okay, we're both poo-pooing that, by the way. And yeah. I have one more thing to say on Jason real quick. Victor Miller and Sean Cunningham, if the lawsuit isn't ended like you said it is, because I hadn't seen that, but if it isn't, they need to end it quickly, because if they're fighting over the rights to Jason and they want money and they want to make more films and they want to do whatever, they better make it happen quicker than, sooner rather than later, because they're not getting any younger. Okay? No. So that being said, let's go into another movie. This is to end the horror section, by the way. Another movie like the first Friday the 13th that was made for very little money and made a ton of money. Terrifier 2. Art the Clown's second movie here. It's actually his third movie. Terrifier and Terrifier 2. He was in another film before Terrifier, the original. So this is a third time Art the Clown's been in a movie. But Terrifier 2 was released in theaters on a $250,000 budget, Josh. And it recently passed $10 million at the box office.
That's amazing. Horror is in a renaissance. It's coming back.
It is. Smile, that movie I was talking to you off camera about, it was supposed to be released on Peacock or Paramount or whatever exclusively, and it somehow got a theatrical release, and it's just went over $200 million on like a $2-3 million budget or something.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on those numbers, but it went over $200 million on a very small budget. So if you write a good story, develop characters that people care about, you could have a hit on your hands. Let's get into some headlines.
Let's do it. Headlines. It makes my head itch every time.
Okay. Hey, at least you didn't butcher that dad joke like I butchered the alligator and crocodile. By the way, that's my story on Instagram. The alligator and crocodile is a story. I added music to it. After a while, crocodile. See you later, alligator. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you better look for Alex Vanover 15 on Instagram. Check it out. Also, at this point of the episode, we haven't mentioned the business email yet. Well, for the second part of the episode yet.
Oh, it's been popping up, too, above our heads a lot.
Oh, has it been? Yeah. Slash Trax 2020 at gmail.com. If you want to partner with the show, you have questions, comments, ideas, concerns, you want to bitch about something we talked about. Do you think the pre-equal Jason series is going to be good on Peacock? What do you think? Send us an email. We'll write you back when we have time, and we'll do the old school correspondence a little bit.
And be sure to join the Patreon. If you like what we do, you can support the channel by joining the Patreon. The link is on the screen throughout the episode. It's in the description. We're not able to monetize the channel here because of all the copyright stuff and the rules we'd have to play by monetizing the channel.
Yeah.
So Patreon is the only way that we, other than sponsorship, have any income from the channel. So if you enjoy what we do and want to help us out, support the channel, hit up the Patreon.
And thank you to all the new Patreon subscribers that joined Patreon in the last month. We appreciate that big time, and thank you so much. And I said we were going to get into headlines real quick, but I want to talk about one other thing, channel related. Josh,
Okay.
we are going through a renaissance. We are blowing up with subscribers. It seems like we're getting 200 to 300 new subscribers every day.
Yeah, it's crazy. I haven't even checked it since we started, but let's see. We'll see what the numbers are right now. We're approaching 25K.
We had less than 22K like 2 weeks ago.
Halloween, man. Halloween is a big time for the channel, and it's not stopping.
You and I were talking last night before bed, and I said, yeah, we went up, we're over 24,000. And you're like, yeah, it's great. Shut up. Different time zones. Alex, I'm in Arkansas. You're in Oregon. Go to bed. I said, okay, all right. So see you for the episode tomorrow. And anyway, I wake up, and then all of a sudden we're at 24,200, like in 7 hours.
We've gained 89 since then. So it's still going up, man. This is awesome.
That is incredible. Anyway, thank you so much to all the new subscribers. We put in a lot of work into these episodes, and we both have full-time jobs, families, and we do it because we do it for the fans. We do it for the subscribers, and it's just a lot of fun. Yeah, so we do it for you guys, and we do it for ourselves because it's a lot of fun, and it's a break from our daily lives. We're not Pamela Voorhees in a kitchen cutting up potatoes all day long with Creighton Duke silently watching our asses. Yeah. First headline of the night. You ready?
Ready.
All right. Dr. Paul Loons recently delivered a baby in full Joker costume and makeup. And I actually sent you those photos in a text message so you knew what we were talking about. Did you get those?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not get that.
So Dr. Paul is dressed up as the Joker from the Dark Knight films. And the obstetrician was on duty in full Halloween gear as the Joker when Brittany Solf and her husband Joseph showed up, and Brittany was having a baby. So at Henry County Medical Center in Nashville, Tennessee. So he was going to say, "Hey, Brittany, yeah, there it is on Josh's phone right there. Hey, Brittany, let me go get cleaned up and changed into actual doctor gear, and we'll deliver this baby." And Brittany and Joseph, her husband, insisted that he stay in full Joker makeup and gear and deliver the baby. So he did it. So
and his name is Dr. Loon. That's great.
Yeah, Dr. Loons. So anyway, the Joker delivered a baby. So the Joker's not all bad, man. Yeah, he's doing some good stuff.
Did you say the Joker's not all bad, man?
He's not all bad.
Not all bad, man.
Oh, God. There's the third dad joke of the night. Let's get into the second headline of the episode.
Let's do it.
All right. Here's another birth-related episode. Woman gives birth in a taxi and is billed by the taxi company for giving birth in the taxi. So
yeah, I'm sure they got a price for that. Like, let's see, Section C, number 3, fee for, after-birth cleanup. Are you going to eat the placenta?
Oh, yeah? My God, okay. You went there. Was the meter running when she was giving birth, or did he stop the meter?
Dr. Loons was on call, though, thankfully.
Farah Cockadine unexpectedly gave birth while on the way for a routine checkup in the back of a taxi. She was then billed for the taxi's cleanup. So she was billed like $100 US because this took part in this happened in Berkshire, UK, so the United Kingdom. So anyway, she paid for the taxi cab ride. No clue if the meter was running, so we don't know if she was billed for giving birth. The time it took to give birth. So I don't know if she was really trying to hit that Lamaze fast, because if the meter's on, she wants to get that baby in and out. But she was also billed for the cleanup. So, Josh, what's your thoughts on her being billed for the cleanup of the taxi?
I feel like they probably had a list of, certain fees and stuff for situations, because that can't be the first time. And with a last name like that, she'll probably be doing it again soon.
Yeah. Giving birth again. Hey, man, we're at that point of the episode. We're at the last story of the show.
Awesome. This guy can finally put his gun down when we're done. So.
Master Evil.
His arm is getting tired. I feel bad.
Master Evil, you guys are going to do the episode. You're going to pretend like you like it. October 29th, 1989, over 33 years ago, Nintendo released the Power Glove. Did you have the Power Glove, Josh, or were you a poor kid like me?
No, I did not have the retro Wiimote. No, but Freddy Krueger did, bitch.
And they didn't even get sued. New Line didn't even get sued.
Yeah, no, they were gonna like be more Nintendo about it, but they changed it because and they were told no by Nintendo, and they did it anyways. They just changed up some dialogue.
Yeah,
they kept got the power. So.
Bob Shea just didn't give a shit about anybody's opinions about anything but his own. So Wes Craven's like, I wrote this idea for this dream demon, and he kills all these kids in their sleep, and you turn your back on him finally, and he goes away. And Bob Shea's like, nope. That's not going to happen. And then Nintendo's like, no, you cannot use the Power Glove on a child molesting dream demon. I'm sorry. Bob Shea's like, no, you're going to do it.
Hogan worked with Bob Shea. Hulk Hogan, he's like, that doesn't work for me, bro.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me, brother. Power Glove's going in, dude. Power Glove is going over, dude. Two thoughts about the Power Glove before we end the episode. The first one is the movie The Wizard. That was a Nintendo propaganda movie starring Fred Savage, where his brother runs away to California, and Fred Savage meets up with a trucker's daughter, and they work their way hustling people, playing video games at arcades, and make enough money to make it to the big Nintendo tournament. Isn't it in Vegas or something?
Something like that. The Nintendo Championships, yeah.
Anyway, his brother's like autistic, I think. Or he's like Rain Man, kind of, and he's just a genius at playing Nintendo.
Yeah.
That was the first time I ever saw the Power Glove, because one of the villains, Lucas, one of the rich kids, they go to play Nintendo at his house. He has the Power Glove, and he says, the Power Glove, it's so bad. Like, so I saw the Power Glove, and I'm like, first of all, this kid is way more handsome than I'll ever be, and this fucker has a Power Glove. And number two, the Power Glove didn't work. The AI, the technology didn't work.
It was motion control ahead of motion control, and it was kind of like the robot, which I also never had and always wanted.
That Robbie the Robot didn't work.
Yeah,
either.
It just worked with like one or two games, and even then, it wasn't very good. The Super Scope came out for the Super Nintendo. It didn't work very good.
It was worse than playing a racing game with an actual controller, because it like had lag on a. Yeah. So the Power Glove looked great, played like shit.
I'll tell you who rocked it. Ash versus the Evil Dead TV show.
Does he wear the Power Glove in that TV show?
They make him a new hand out of a Power Glove. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
But the Power Glove, it's very collectible to this day. People that collect gaming consoles and Nintendo products, the Power Glove and Robbie the Robot, like Josh said, is a very popular item. You don't see a lot of Power Gloves at game stores. I honestly think I may have seen one Power Glove in my entire life in person.
Yeah, me too. I think, and it was at a game store a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was like $299 or some shit. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy
you don't see Power Gloves a lot. Josh, so we're going to end the episode. That's all she wrote, folks. Do you have anything to say before we wrap this sucker up?
Be sure to hit the Patreon up if you want to support the channel. Send us an email at slashtrax2020@gmail.com. Anything, sponsorship. If you want to just yell at us, tell us we're doing a good job, tell us we're doing a bad job. Ask personal questions. We'll answer if we can.
Yeah.
Be excellent to each other, and good night, and have a pleasant tomorrow. Say good night, Alex.
Good night, Alex. And thank you to the new Patreons, the new subscribers, and episode number 21, Hunt a Killer, is sponsoring us. So be on the lookout for that.
Yes. Where's that mahalo?
Mahalo, dog.
Oh, one more thing. See you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.
Josh and Alex got the groove. Fun facts making the headlines move. Sports and horror keep it tight. Warrior fuel for the fight. Pro wrestling on the screen. Tracks like a dream. Headlines rocking day and night. Slash Trax team out of sight. Jumpin' Jeff says, yep, alright. Tony laughs
If you spotted an alligator or a crocodile.
Now,
Well, if you see the alligator, you probably saw him after a while. Or excuse me, yeah, after a while. But if you seen an alligator, wait, oh my God, I blew that. You're gonna have to cut this. Can we cut this right here?
no.
Please, no.
No. Tell the
Alligator,
joke.
hey, you're cutting that. You're not leaving that shit in.
I'll leave it in there. Okay, I'll make it just as cringy on my end so we can leave it all. If we were characters in The Walking Dead and we became a book series, would Norman read us? There you go.
Yeah, that's where, dude, I tried to tell the crocodile and the alligator joke, and like 10,000 people just clicked off the episode.
No.